Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm quickly just hiding in my son's room to make this little video because it's just some things that I've been thinking about today and going over, and yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to make a little video about it. So my eBay has taken like a complete dive in the last few months because I've just not been doing any work. So, you know, if you don't do anything, sales just drop off. I think sales, you know, typically gonna drop off anyway this time of year, especially with the weather being like what it's been like, and given the kind of things that I sell, which is mainly like vintage clothes, and I've got a lot of dresses, but I'm more like winter things, and you know, like wool jumpers and things like that. So I think it's just that time of year for a lot of us anyway. I've been cross-listing to other platforms, which has been alright. I've been selling a few bits here and there on Etsy, on Vinted and on my own website, but I really want to get eBay back up to what I was doing, more like 4 or 5 items a day. At the minute it's more like 1 or 2, so I really want to get that back up, and I was just thinking about how I can do that. I've been really struggling with just all of it, getting listings out, doing drafts. All of it seems to be taking me too long. And I know the whole thing is I just need to list more and then you'll sell more, but I keep thinking like I just don't have the time to do it. So I've been looking at some like time management things and ways that I can just make things a bit easier and quicker. So the first thing that I looked at was the stations that I have, because you have to have, say when you're buying in bulk like me, you have to have a station for, you know, organising the stuff if it needs washing, fixing, steaming, whatever, and then photographing, drafting, and then putting away. And in an ideal world, when I got my storage unit, I really wanted to have each of these systems like in a line, because if I could do that, you know, it would be so much quicker to do everything. But we're not in an ideal world, and it's now summer holidays, so children are at home. So now when I go to my storage unit, I just have to run in, grab stuff, run back out. So I'm doing all of my photographing and listing at home, and then taking the stuff to the storage unit. But some ways that I have been able to just shave some time off each of these steps is by focusing on items that are, you know, in the same category. So say if I've got 10 tops or 10 dresses or something like that, doing 10 at a time, making sure there's 10 ready to go, photographing 10, having a break, and then drafting 10, having a break, and then at the end of the day I've been putting the draft and the photograph together. So even just thinking about these 3 or 4 different things, different tasks, I think it's really helpful to try and figure out which bit you can streamline, you know, which bit you can make a bit simpler. Because I have had times where I've photographed a bunch of items and then I just left them, and instead of drafting them I've gone and photographed another bunch of items. So then now I've got this pile here that's been photographed, this pile that needs washing, this pile that's been drafted but not photographed, and it all gets a bit messy, and then there just ends up with piles of stuff everywhere. So doing it this way, it's theoretically going to be a lot quicker. One of the main things that has been a real like life changer, it's so simple, but it's just something I never thought to use before, were listing templates. If you sell things, you know, in a similar category all the time, it's just going to save so much time. So I've got a listing template for women's clothes and a listing template for men's clothes. In the women's one, because most of the stuff that I sell is like vintage dresses, so I think the title I've got is already just vintage dress, and then I can just add in some more keywords, and then I have all the bits ready to go. So in the description I have it laid out with the measurements, you know, so I've got like waist, hips, length, and then I can just pop them in, and even just that saves so much time. You wouldn't believe how much time that saves. Right, pricing is another thing that has saved me so much time, because I buy stuff in bulk. It can take a long time to look up what everything is, and blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's not very often that you'll get an item that's worth hundreds of pounds, which barely ever happens to me. So the majority of my items I buy for like £1 to £3, and I will list for between 15 and 25, usually around 18 to 20. Even if they're worth a bit more or if they're worth less, I'll still put them. 18 is usually like my main thing that I'm listing everything for, and this just means that I know how much I'm making on each item, so even if it's worth a bit more, it doesn't really matter to me because overall I know how much I'm going to be making. So the buyer gets a bargain and I get the profit that I'm expecting to get. Obviously if it's an item that's, you know, super rare, super expensive, I'm not going to do that. But on the majority of things, it's just so much quicker to have this like pricing system, and it just means less time researching, less time, you know, trying to figure out, should I sell it for this, should I, just boom, get it on, £18, £15, done. If it's worth less than that, then we'll, you know, leave it for a few months and then maybe go back and have a look. If it's worth more than that, it's going to sell really quick. So the other one is photographs. I photograph most things on my phone. It's not even a great phone. I don't know where it is. It's just like a Hawaii. I don't know how to say it, one of them. It's not a great one, but the camera on most phones these days is going to be perfectly fine. The main thing is the lighting. If you've got crap lighting, even a good camera is not going to look good. Like this camera that I'm using right now is really good camera. I don't even know what kind it is, but it's like really good. But I'm sat and there's a window there. But if I was sat like the other way, it'd look rubbish. So lighting is like major important. And the other thing I've been using is either Canva or an app called Photo Room, just to give the white background, and I think it just looks so good. It's so crisp, it's so fast to use. I use Canva, the background removal on Canva, if I'm using a actual camera to take the picture onto the memory card and then put it into the computer and use Canva that way. Or if I'm using my phone, then I'll use the Photo Room app. I think I paid for it, but I can't remember. I can't remember if I did. I think I did, yeah, because there is a free version, but it's got the thingy at the bottom, the watermark. So I think I did pay. It wasn't a lot. I can't remember how much, but it's so worth it. It's so fast to use, and it really does make your pictures stand out. The next thing that has saved me so much time, and it's been, I think, my favourite thing that I've bought since starting on eBay and YouTube and everything, is a thermal printer. It was just from Amazon, I think. And before that I was using you know, normal inkjet, one of the big massive inkjet printers, and I was oh God, I used to run out of paper all the time and ink all the time, but I was printing it off onto like A4, and then the label was here, and I was cutting it out with scissors and sellotaping it onto each parcel. And back then I was selling a lot of toys and things, so I was selling quite a lot of items, and I used to sit there once the children were in bed, printing out all these bits of paper, sitting there with the scissors and the sellotape, and it took so long. And now with the thermal printer, you never have to worry about running out of ink. You never really have to worry about running out of labels. I've had it, it's got to be a year or something now, I think. Yeah, and you only have to buy refills of the, brain is not working, the labels, but they come in like packs of hundreds and hundreds, so you're never going to run out. And it's so easy, just boom boom, stick it on. Absolutely love it. That is one thing that I would say you really should have if you're going to sell on eBay for any length of time. It will just make your life so much easier. One of my main tips for eBay, but this goes for everything as well, even making YouTube videos, everything, is keywords. And I'm not like the greatest person at doing this at all, but I found that titling things, whether it's something on eBay or a YouTube video, if you title it something that someone is going to search for, you're more likely for people to find it. Like on eBay, using words that other people will use, and not just thinking of the algorithm all the time, thinking of the people that are actually typing it in. What would they actually search for? It's like on YouTube, I see a lot of people who put like the number of the video, like how many they've made, like 256 or something, and unless you're like super popular, nobody's going to be searching for that. So your best bet is to try and think of a phrase that people are actually going to search for that is relevant for your video. So, and same goes for things on eBay, like, you know, if I have a dress that I think is really pretty, I'll put lady's pretty summer dress. And even though it might not be great for the algorithm, like the word pretty is not really gonna do much for that, but somebody might type in, you know, oh, I want a pretty summer dress. And obviously with eBay, the more descriptive words you can use, the better. And something that I am going to try using that I've seen someone talking about, but I can't remember who, is I really hate when people put all the words in capitals on eBay. It drives me nuts, because it's just like, why are you shouting at me? But I've seen some people put, if you're selling something branded, putting the brand name in capitals, and it does actually, if you're looking through listings, it does catch your eye. So that's something I might start trying and seeing how that works. I think put a capital letter at the beginning of each word. I just think it looks nice. I think I do that on YouTube as well. Don't think it makes any bit of difference. I just think it looks nice. But yeah, I'm gonna try the brand name in capitals. If you already do that, let me know. Let me know if you think it makes a difference. And here is my absolute number one tip to be productive or effective in pretty much anything. And this tip is the only way that I've been able to do everything that I do to make money online, the match betting, the eBay, and the selling stuff online, the YouTube videos, all of it. Actually there's two, but they kind of go together. But the first one was I got rid of Facebook completely. I don't use Facebook at all, ever. I think my account's still there. I think I just need to take the pictures off it, but I don't even want to log into it to take the pictures off it, because I just don't want to get sucked in at all. I think I last used Facebook like, oh, it's gotta be like 2-3 years ago at least. And at first it is kind of weird, like you feel like you're gonna miss out on so much, but the sense, it's like a massive weight lifted off your shoulders when you're no longer on Facebook. It's just so full of rubbish, and it's the biggest time suck in the history of the world. No good comes from Facebook. The only thing that annoys me is that I will miss out on seeing if there's some like tabletop sales and jumble sales going on, but that's literally it. And speaking of time sucks, the second thing that I completely got rid of was watching TV. I used to just sit and watch TV. Kids went to bed, I put TV on and just sit mindlessly staring at the screen. So I completely got rid of TV. Don't watch it. Stopped watching it completely. My TV isn't even plugged into the, you know, like the aerial bit. Don't have it. It's a lot of rubbish. And we do have Netflix. We used to have all of them, you know, like the Disney and all that. Got rid of them all, but did get Netflix back in the end, just because of Umbrella Academy. They brought out the second season, and I love Umbrella Academy. But the last few weeks, or over the last 2 months, because I've not been doing much, or I've not been working hardly at all on much, I have started watching TV again on Netflix, should I say, started watching Netflix again, and I can just feel, you can see how that has just sucked so much of my time, and it's just not worth it at all. It just isn't. So yeah, getting off Facebook and getting rid of TV has been an actual life changer. The past 2 years of not having them things, I've been able to do so much more and build up so many more things I never thought I'd have the time for, you know. And all that is on top of being a single mum, full-time single mum, should I say. Like, my kids don't go away for the weekend or anything like that, and I don't have babysitters, so literally it's just me. So things are going to change a bit more in September, because my master's degree that I had to put on hold when corona lockdowns happened, I had to defer for a year, so that starts up again in September, so that's going to be fun. So this is why I want to get these systems streamlined as best as I can. And yeah, I hope any of these tips or suggestions or ramblings were helpful, and let me know if you have any tips or ideas or ways that you make things faster and simpler in your eBay business, or whatever it is that you do. So thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.